This garlic has been soaking overnight. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna get around to it today to put them out because I've got a bunch of other stuff that I also need to plant. I might end up soaking them another night. I've heard of people doing it for up to 3 nights, so we'll see. Last year it worked great. It was a great way to just give them a head start and get the garlic growing as soon as possible. But I've got some stuff I need to plant outside, so let me get that and we'll head out. I'm gonna be planting more seeds today. And believe it or not, this is gonna be the 3rd time I'm gonna be planting beets, carrots, cabbages, all that stuff that I planted weeks ago because of the armadillos. We caught one, and I showed you that one, but we ended up catching 3 more, and there is still one around. Luckily, Nate has figured out how they're getting in, and he's able to fix it at this point. We're still trying to catch this last one, but I'm telling you, I've never dealt with armadillos like this before in my life, and I think it a lot has to do with the fact that it has been so dry. It has not rained. I want to say it's been at least 3 weeks, if not 4. And I water out here in the garden, and I think they smell that fresh watered dirt, and they like that, and they come around and they dig up all my seeds and throw them all around to the point where even my markers at this point, I don't even know where they are. So since this is my 3rd time planting stuff, I'm kind of just going to be throwing things out. I'm not marking things. I do know what things look like. I know what beets look like. I know what carrots look like. So I'm just kind of throwing them out there. And luckily, I do have some stuff that did survive. And all my cover crops have been fine. But I was able to get more carrot seeds. Luckily, some of my carrots did survive because I was excited about those. Those are the ones that I collected from my garden. So some of them did make it. And there are a few stragglers here and there that kind of made it through, but I just want to make sure my garden is full this year, and so I got more carrot seeds from Paul. Thank goodness he had them because they were expensive online if I wanted to get as many as I needed. So I got them real cheap from him, and I'm just going to kind of throw things out and we'll see where we get, and hopefully I can get to planting the garlic as well. And the garlic I'm just going to be mixing in with everything else, like I did with the onions last fall. That worked really well because, you know, onions and garlic take forever to grow. I think garlic takes, what, like 8 or 9 months? Pretty crazy. So you might think that you need to put them in a special area because then, you know, in springtime you want to plant your garden, and the garlic's not ready to harvest until like July. So kind of crazy. You can mix your garlic in with everything else and it's not an issue. And you see I've got some rows that are still going, which is fine. I've got my greenhouse full of plants that will be going out in all the rows that still have stuff growing. You see I've got about 80 cabbages, tons of dill and cilantro. Some more cabbage. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So I've got plenty of stuff in here to fill in all the stuff like the peppers and stuff that will end up dying off when we have the frosts, and then I can cut the peppers down and put in my cabbage. Look at this little brassica. Just popped up from last year. That was interesting about the cabbages. My friend had cut hers down and it just started growing again in the fall. So this crop, when it comes summertime, springtime, and they're not doing well, I'm just gonna cut them back. And I'm kind of curious to see if they'll come back in the fall. It's worth a shot. Wouldn't it be nice just to have an established cabbage that just keeps coming back every year? That sounds great. I'm gonna try that out and we'll see how that works. But let me get this going. And I also need to come out here and weed, y'all. Got some weeds coming. Random tomatoes. Stay. The thing's telling me to stay. I've got these random, all these darn chamber bitter weeds, y'all. I've had a issue with these guys this year. I was learning about them, They love rich soil. And where I've been really working with my soil, adding a lot of compost, organic compost down on it, like leaves, grass clippings, chicken bedding, it's gotten much better. And these guys have been growing. They've also been growing on my lawn because I planted the clover, which is puts nitrogen into the soil. So yeah, between those two, I've got these little guys now that just love all that nitrogen rich soil. Anyway, get these guys going. So since I've got so much willy-nilly stuff going on here because of the armadillos digging stuff up, I'm gonna probably have a lot of stuff mixed in, which is fine. I see some carrots growing here, you see. So things got a little bit willy-nilly, and that's just what we're gonna work with. That's life sometimes, you know. You just kind of have to go with the flow. I'm gonna plant rutabagas right here. I've heard a lot of people talk about rutabagas. Never had them myself, but they're supposed to be a good alternative for a potato, so you can mash them up and stuff. So I'm excited to kind of use them that way. That feels good to have that done. I've been kind of dreading it, but that's finished. Now I've got plenty of room. There's still leftover areas where I'll be filling in with all the things that I have in the greenhouse. And those guys in the greenhouse are doing so well. It works out well to start your cabbage in late summer. It honestly does really well in the heat. As long as it's starting to cool down, by the time they start to get large, they're not going to bolt or anything, so they actually germinate and do best if it's warmer. Check out the clover. See, now they're starting to have more of a shape. It's the next day. No, it's really not. I just changed my outfit. It's hot. It was getting hot, so I put some shorts on. But here's my garlic. Last year, I just had one of these filled and planted it out here on this row. And then I ended up harvesting 4 of these. So I've got 4 of these now full from all the ones that I grew from last season. And I harvested in the summer, which is kind of cool. I quadrupled my garlic. So I'm going to be putting them all out this time so that in the summer when I harvest them, I will have enough to save for the next crop, and then I'll also have enough to use in the kitchen. Alright, so let's get these planted. I have a brand new Hori Hori, which I'm so excited about. I'm going to use today. My mom got this for me for my birthday. My other one ended up breaking, and then this one is so nice. Isn't that pretty? So this works great in planting garlic, y'all. Makes it super easy. So if you look at this. Look at that. See how they're already sprouting? That is cool. All those little root systems are just coming alive. That's why I like to soak my garlic. It gives it a head start. You see that? That's so cool. Crazy that this one little guy is going to end up creating a whole bulb. But I mean, it does take a while. It takes almost as long as making a baby. Y'all, I have washed my hands off. They're not 100% clean yet. I think I'm going to need to wash them a few more times. But I'm finished, and I will not lie to you, that was very tedious, and it took me all day. But it's finished. Now I need to plant my onions. Planting stuff is so tedious sometimes, but you know what? It always feels good when it's done, and even better when you start seeing stuff growing. So fun. I'm gonna go and see if Nathan's done. He's been working on his motorcycle all day. He's gonna be starting to ride his motorcycle called Dirty Jenny to work to save some money on gas, y'all. Gas prices are just ridiculous. I am gonna go and see if he's ready and he's finished, and maybe he got some new beers I want to try out. Just relax and do some porch therapy before the evening sets in here. Well, I guess it's already evening, huh? Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today, y'all, and we'll see you next time.